think this post on X from Genevieve's sums up the situation facing the British royal family the best. 2 down, 2 to go. Because while there is quite naturally fury at the lack of action over that oaf Prince Andrew.
Sarah Ferguson has allegedly made a move nobody saw coming, and insiders say the impact is rattling both Buckingham Palace and Montecito right now. According to multiple sources, the Duchess of York reportedly dropped a stunning claim during recent commentary, one that links Meghan Markle to Prince Andrew in ways the public has never heard before. And the wildest part? Insiders allege Prince Harry had no idea any of this existed until now.
Harry, to put it politely, I think she is very manipulative. Meghan Markle is someone who's basically got rid of almost her entire family on her side, apart from her mother, her entire family on the father's side, including her father, which is incredibly sad. And now she's wrestled Harry away from his family.
What has royal watchers completely stunned is that this wasn't framed as vague gossip or recycled whispers. Observers claim Sarah allegedly shared very specific details about how Meghan and Andrew supposedly crossed paths before Harry ever entered the picture. The information is said to come from Sarah's direct knowledge of Andrew's private social circles, which instantly raised eyebrows across royal media. Here's where it gets even messier. Sarah has been standing firmly by Andrew as he navigates non-stop controversy, all while trying to clean up her own public image after resurfaced associations caused backlash. Sources suggest this moment could either be an explosive truth finally surfacing or a calculated diversion meant to shift attention elsewhere. Either way, people are asking the same question loud and clear. Why now? Reports say Sarah and Andrew have quietly grown close again in recent months, despite being divorced for decades. Multiple insiders claim the two have reunited emotionally as pressure mounts from all sides, forming a united front while the rest of the royal family keeps its distance. That context matters, because it changes how this alleged revelation is being viewed.
That you were like, oh no, I know that I love this guy.
Yes, that was our 3rd date.
You fell in love on your 3rd date?
We met in Botswana and we camped for 5 days together.
Oh, so you really had time to fall in love in those few days. That's nice.
But you really get to know somebody when you're in a little tent together and there's like, what is that outside the tent?
Andrew officially stepped back from royal duties following renewed scrutiny tied to his past associations with Jeffrey Epstein, widely documented by international outlets. Around the same time, Sarah herself faced backlash after an old email resurfaced, in which she referred to Epstein as a friend, according to reporting from The Guardian.
I think it's really the money because she was with Trevor Engelson and her father gave her stuff, so she wasn't really like one of those, I think anyways, one of those really struggling actresses, or actors that you see them waitering tables and, they don't have, but she was living with Trevor Engelson and her father was giving her money and cars.
The timing couldn't look worse. So now both Sarah and Andrew are facing public heat, isolated, stripped of influence, and fighting to stay relevant. In that light, observers argue that bringing up Meghan's alleged past connection to Andrew serves a purpose. If true, it drags someone else into the spotlight. If exaggerated, it targets a figure who still has global support and a powerful platform. Either way, the timing is impossible to ignore, especially with reports confirming that Sarah and Andrew are in discussions to vacate Royal Lodge, the home they've shared for years despite their divorce. Every piece of this story collides at once, and the fallout is only getting louder.
I like to think that Meghan would like that. Meghan likes to be number one. Meghan does not simply degrade Prince Harry. She degrades his entire family, his entire legacy. And this is a different kind of embarrassment. She has mocked his heritage, his traditions, his grandmother, the former Queen of England, and it seems like she did so happily.
Sources claim King Charles III has allegedly pushed Sarah Ferguson and Prince Andrew to downsize, with talk swirling that he even offered them Frogmore Cottage. the very home once occupied by Prince Harry and Meghan Markle. That detail alone has royal watchers buzzing because the symbolism is loud. Andrew potentially moving into the Sussex's former UK residence adds a sharp new layer of tension, especially as Sarah is allegedly revealing sensitive claims about Meghan's past connection to him.
Even if we assume that he's telling the truth, which few people believe, but if we assume that he was friends with a paedophile, one of America's most notorious paedophiles. He stayed overnight in many of the houses of a paedophile where child abuse took place. And to come out of that realization, if that was me, I would be haunted by that. And for him to come out of it and say, well, he doesn't regret the friendship because he met some powerful people.
What's fully on record is Sarah's public loyalty to Andrew. She has openly stated she won't let Andrew down, saying she promised the late Queen she would stand by him, and she has continued defending him despite serious allegations. Observers believe this unwavering loyalty could explain why she might allegedly share information Andrew confided in her over the years, even if it puts others in the spotlight. According to sources discussing what Sarah allegedly revealed, the real shock centers on claims that Meghan and Andrew knew each other socially before Meghan ever met Harry. The allegation suggests they crossed paths in elite circles and that their connection went beyond the brief introduction Meghan described publicly. If true, that changes the entire timeline people thought they understood. This is where things clash hard with the official story. In his memoir Spare, Harry wrote that Meghan first met several royals, including Andrew, during what was presented as a casual introduction at Royal Lodge.
And she has convinced, there's a thing called in psychology called the Freudian transfer. She has convinced Harry that she is Princess Diana, except this time he has an opportunity to save her. That is the truth. And it's worked, right? So she's done this convincing performance for Harry that I don't know how I ended here. I just love you. And I'm just like your mom. And the one chance that you had to save your mom again.
According to Harry, Meghan didn't even recognize Andrew at first and supposedly thought he was staff rather than the Queen's son. That version was meant to underline Meghan's unfamiliarity with royal life. But sources now claim Sarah's alleged account contradicts that image completely. They suggest Meghan knew exactly who Andrew was before that meeting, and that they had encountered each other previously in social settings. According to these claims, the innocent first meeting story doesn't line up with what Sarah allegedly knows. Still, it's important to be clear. These remain unverified allegations. No major outlet has published direct quotes from Sarah confirming these exact claims.
She thinks if we just know her, again, like we're going to like her. Okay, show me the friends who know you, who have stuck by you. Who's still in your life? There's not even a family member. They're all gone. Everyone who knew you either fled from you or they were dumped by you because they weren't famous. They weren't Tyler Perry. They weren't Oprah, Gayle, all these people who she didn't know at all who she had at her wedding. George Clooney, I'm sure they were really tight.
Reports vary wildly depending on the source, with some saying she referenced specific locations, while others say she spoke generally about Andrew's social network and Meghan's alleged presence in those circles. What matters is the impact. Observers say Sarah has allegedly challenged the official narrative about when and how Meghan first encountered the royal family. If true, it reshapes a story Meghan has told for years. If false or exaggerated, it opens the door to serious legal consequences. Either way, the pressure around this situation just spiked again.
I've always said, lean into Harry. Harry, your togetherness, she wants to just use him a little, use him for the promo, but this is my thing.
Because she's branding herself away from him.
The timing of Sarah Ferguson's alleged revelation is exactly what has royal watchers raising eyebrows everywhere. It's not just what was supposedly said, but when it surfaced, that's causing suspicion about motives and whether this is raw truth or a calculated play. Sarah's own controversial history adds fuel to that doubt. Her name was dragged into public scandal after multiple charities dropped her as a patron, following the resurfacing of emails where she referred to Jeffrey Epstein as a friend, a detail reported by major outlets back in September.
Meghan really can't seem to understand that, you know, with the likes of Spotify, Netflix and the rest now dumping her. Where do you go from here? What do you become after this? You get the picture. Now, this is the reason why many people understand the marriage, shall we say, has hit one of those rocky patches.
That moment crushed her efforts to rebuild her reputation, and observers say she's been in full damage control mode ever since. Against that backdrop, critics argue that allegedly revealing claims about Meghan Markle and Prince Andrew conveniently shifts attention away from Sarah's own controversies. It also puts pressure on someone who has managed to secure public sympathy despite ongoing royal tensions. The timing feels anything but random. Whether Sarah acted strategically or spoke impulsively remains unclear. What complicates things further is her renewed closeness with Andrew. Observers say that bond may have triggered a protective instinct, making her more willing to challenge people she views as hypocritical or dishonest. From Sarah's alleged perspective, commentators suggest she may see Meghan as someone who has positioned herself as a victim, while possibly keeping uncomfortable connections out of the public eye.
And people would always ask me when I worked there, like, okay, like, what stories are real? And I'd be like, okay, every story is real except for the ones about the royal family. And this was prior to Meghan Markle coming on. I'm like, the palace is just a tight ship.
If Meghan knew Andrew before meeting Prince Harry, and if she moved in circles Sarah recognizes through Andrew, then Sarah might view Meghan's public narrative as misleading. That belief alone could motivate Sarah to set the record straight, especially while she and Andrew feel isolated and pushed out. Royal insiders also note that Sarah has a long history of speaking too freely, saying things publicly that more cautious royals would never dare to say. Sources close to the situation claim Harry is deeply shaken by what Sarah allegedly revealed.
But if we've got it all wrong, and I'm sorry, Harry and Meghan, if we have got it all wrong, then I suggest to fix it, you issue a new statement.
They say he had no idea Meghan may have had any prior connection to Andrew, and that learning about it publicly has raised serious personal questions. Neither Harry nor Meghan has addressed the claims directly, and these allegations remain unverified. Still, observers stress that if Sarah's account were accurate, it would strike at the heart of Harry's understanding of his marriage. Harry has consistently described Meghan as completely outside the royal system, someone who entered his life without knowledge of royal dynamics and with a fresh, innocent perspective.
Because these emails are going to keep coming out, but they are just sitting tight, imagining this horrible scandal will just go away, like scandals have a habit of doing. But I'm with you, Matt, on this. I don't think this is going to go away at all.
If Meghan already knew Andrew, if she was already connected to royal adjacent circles before meeting Harry, that story starts to crack. Royal watchers point out that Harry sacrificed relationships, relocated across the world, and fiercely defended Meghan based on that belief. Sources say discovering that the narrative wasn't fully accurate wouldn't just sting, it would damage trust in a way outside criticism never could. This wouldn't be about a hidden acquaintance. It would be about Harry defending a version of events that may not have told the full story.
Well, this woman is just a master manipulator. It's the entire reason that they left the royal family in the first place. They constantly banged on about saying, we want privacy, we want privacy. Well, I don't think a 6-part Netflix series is privacy, nor is an Oprah interview. What she really wanted was control. Because she is a manipulator. She wanted to be able to manipulate people, and she couldn't manipulate the press in the UK. That's why she was angry. She couldn't force people to write the stories that she wanted them to write. So therefore, she left to get privacy so that she could write the stories in her own perspective.
Royal observers say this strange silence might explain everything. Neither side has officially responded to the alleged revelation, with Sarah Ferguson not confirming she made the statements and Meghan Markle refusing to address the claims publicly. That quiet from both women keeps the story alive without triggering an all-out legal war, letting speculation spread while no one fully shuts it down. Whether Sarah's alleged revelation turns out to be real information or calculated manipulation will become clearer as time passes. If Sarah truly made these claims on record and has evidence, sources say documentation will eventually surface through verified media reporting. If the story is exaggerated or built on overinterpreted comments, then the lack of proof will become harder to ignore as attention grows. What is clear, according to insiders, is that Prince Harry is reportedly grappling with doubts he's never had to face before.
I think she was scared of coming back to this country, and quite rightly, because the people of this country don't like the fact that she's stolen our prince. And she's literally brainwashed him, blinkered him, and tied him down to his Californian mansion.
We're nearly out of time, but quickly, Jim, it couldn't be possible, could it, that a bloke gets falls in love and...
forbid. I mean, he might fall in love and actually follow his heart. I love that you're our royal correspondent.
Sources claim this situation has forced him to question aspects of his wife's honesty for the first time, adding pressure to an already fragile dynamic. Sarah has allegedly created a scenario where Meghan's credibility is being publicly debated, and that tension is now bleeding into the wider royal family conflict. Observers say the relationship between the Sussexes and the monarchy was already strained, but this adds a fresh layer of discomfort. Whether this leads to new revelations, public statements, or legal action depends entirely on choices both sides make next. The truth about what Meghan's connection to Prince Andrew actually was, if anything beyond what's already documented, may soon demand answers neither woman wants to give in public. If you want to stay ahead of every twist, breakdown, and royal shockwave, make sure you subscribe, like, share, and drop your thoughts in the comments. I'll see you on the next one.